Well, the media world could be in for another big shakeup. Okay, more drama here. A new report claims that CBS News editor-in-chief Barry Weiss may soon have an even larger role, potentially taking editorial oversight of CNN if Paramount Skydance's acquisition of Warner Bros. Discovery gets approved.
According to Axios, Paramount executives are already discussing who could handle the business side of the operation, while Weiss focuses on the news product. Several familiar names are reportedly being considered, including Chairman and CEO of CNN Worldwide, Mark Thompson, NBC Universal News Group Chairman Cesar Conde, former NBC News Chief Noah Oppenheim, CEO of the Daily Beast Ben Sherwood, and former CBS News President David Rhodes.
If it happens, it would be one of the biggest changes we've seen in television news in years, putting one executive in a position to help shape the editorial direction of both CBS News and CNN at a time when the industry is already facing some major challenges.
It also raises a lot of questions about where these networks could be headed next and what a Barry Weiss-led editorial vision could look like across two major news brands.
Joining us now to weigh in, the host of The Big Take here on Newsmax, Ed Henry. Ed, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Look, I think this has been a reckoning in the news business in the works for years and years and years. Newsrooms all across the country, chock full of people, they don't even know where the middle is. And now some changes are coming and people are going to have to get in line or probably lose their jobs, right?
Yes, you've got people like Scott Pelley out at CBS News. They were freaking out about Barry Weiss. Why? Because she brought a different perspective. That is a breath of fresh air to viewers who are tired of the same old liberal mindset, the same fake news, the same, lamestream media, as it's been called. Enough is enough. It's sort of an echo chamber. That's why their ratings have gone down so much. That's why their credibility and trust is at all-time lows. I'm not saying Barry Weiss is perfect. She's got all kinds of questions about stories. Everyone's going to question everything we do. That's the nature of the transparent era we're in with the internet, with social media, that everybody has a voice now. It's not just Walter Cronkite sitting there with a couple of tablets at 6:30 p.m. Eastern telling everybody what the news is. This is a whole different process. Barry Weiss has a reputation as somebody who, while at the New York Times, again, was a breath of fresh air, challenged the traditional orthodoxy of the mainstream media, and that is so desperately needed at old institutions like CBS News, like CNN. And that's why the old liberal guard is freaking out so much. That's why Scott Pelley was trying to take her down and take down the new executive producer at 60 Minutes. They don't want to change. They don't want to move to the middle. They don't want to even consider Donald Trump's point of view.
Ed, but wouldn't it be strange, or would it be strange, maybe not, if a singular person, Barry Weiss potentially, would have editorial control at two different networks, two different brands?
Well, perhaps. I mean, she may end up at CNN and somebody else could run CBS. I've heard the name Jeff Zucker, who used to be at CNN, that he's out there fishing around. He's looking for some big perch, and then he's angling to run CBS while someone like Barry Weiss runs CNN. I'm not inside. I don't know. That's what I'm hearing from very senior people in the business, that there's a lot of jockeying going on. But if she were to run both, well, on one hand, CBS News is a more traditional broadcast, linear television, while CNN is more of the cable variety, as well as perhaps some streaming, which CBS has as well. So you could have somebody running, both channels, both networks, if you will, just like Newsmax has different varieties and flavors. We've got Newsmax, we've got Newsmax Stream, we've got NewsmaxPlus.com. Everybody should be checking that out because it's all you can eat these days. It's trying to get out your content on as many platforms as possible. So maybe one voice like Barry Weiss, who's new and is that breath of fresh air, she might be fantastic across multiple brands, multiple platforms. But again, that's not up to us. That's up to the Ellisons if this merger goes through and they take over CNN. So all the people who are Monday morning quarterback, they're on the outside. They don't want to see change. But guess what? Change is coming for the mainstream media. I think a lot of our viewers love it.
That's it. Change is coming, and it's either get on board or you're going to have to get out, or just whatever
Scott
your
Pelley's
bosses
out.
tell you to do. That's how a business operates. You take orders from your boss, or become the boss if you don't like it.
Yeah, or be open-minded.
Or be open-minded.
Yes.
That's it. Ed, what do you got on tap tonight? Big interview?
Wait, all right, stop. Collaborate
Yeah, 5
and
p.m.
listen.
Eastern.
Oh.